There we go.
All right. Okay. Welcome. So I think this is my second call I've done. My name is Ashley. Many of you know me. And tonight I'm going to talk about a few different things. And one of them is, or a couple of them are, qualifying your leads, restarting your Mary Kay business, and being intentional at your appointments. And so I feel like this is something that I was thinking about it, and I thought, I don't know that I have to make a lot. Like I've moved 11 or 12 times in 14 years of being in Mary Kay. So I have restarted my business a lot. And going from, moving to places where I had contacts to moving to a total new province, new city where I didn't know anyone. And so in a way, restarting your business everywhere you go. But one of the best things that I think I've just always been so grateful for is that in Mary Kay, we can do that, right? We can literally pick up our bags and go anywhere within Canada if you're actually traveling. If you're not traveling, if it's nowadays, through social media or through networking with, referrals and whatnot, there are so many ways that you can, branch your business out into different areas. And so that, for me, that was, in the long run, all of those moves made me a stronger business person, a stronger consultant, a stronger director, because, or I believe anyway, because I literally had no choice, right? You're either in or you're out. So I could either be like, well, I'm moving and this Mary Kay thing is, not really working or not. I could have settled, right? It could have been not a convenient thing for me, and I could have just let it go to the wayside. And however, I chose to, this is what I had left my full-time job for. So this is how I'm paying my bills. And so I literally, I just forgot, I was going to bring down the hat, this month's ordering bonus. Mary Kay always said that as women, we wear many hats. There it is. Carol's got it. Perfect. And so I was thinking, and this is a total rabbit trail, but right now we are homeschooling. So that means I'm homeschooling our children. So I'm now wearing like the Mary Kay hat, and then I'm wearing the teacher hat, and then I'm wearing the mom hat and the wife hat, and, and Ashley, who I am with, all of those things are a part of my life, but I'm still me. So all of those hats that we wear as women and as individuals and as business owners. But at the end of the day, it really boils down to two kind of major things that I'm going to talk about tonight. And I'm not really going to get into how to get names. You guys all know how to do that. You know that names and bookings, they're really the lifeline to your business. And nowadays, like I said, through social media, through all of that, many of us are working more so, if not 100%, all through online and through, the phone, and kind of going back to, I guess, in a way that it was with the Mary Kay roots of picking up the phone and phoning people. And then, through FaceTime and through your groups and through however you communicate with your people, but a lot of it being virtually. So, one of the things that I was really thinking, and kind of what stemmed this thought was, this last week I've been promoting the Petite palette, and just with several different fall collections. And I was kind of switching through what I share and what I post, and I just felt like I was sharing a lot of information and changing it up. So I'm just trying to stick with one thing. So anyway, moral of it is, the last couple days I've been planning on doing a live video in my client group and doing a couple tutorials I was going to do one on each eye of, different eye looks. So anyway, I know that's not what I'm talking about, but I'm getting to it. So this afternoon I was like, Kate, kids are gone. My husband took the kids for a couple hours, so I can go and I can do this video. So I'm cleaning in my bathroom, and I started with, I was going to apply foundation so that I had, you know, a base on, so then I can just continue and do my eye look on this live video. And I'm just sick and tired of my bathroom being a mess, and I start cleaning, and then I'm cleaning brushes. And next thing you know, all my brushes are, and I know it's not a major dilemma. There's other ways that you can, you know, whatever, but I just was like, okay, now I've washed my entire brush collection, both sets, and everything is wet and needs to dry. And so anyway, so I was thinking how that relates to us, and with names and conversations that I've had with consultants and even, you know, sister directors about names and contacts, and, you know, where you're at right now in your business and where you want to go. And one of the big things that, you know, really just dawned on me is, if you're sitting on names, on old business, on, you know, old profiles from back when you were holding appointments face to face or doing parties, there is gold in there that you could, you know, be following up with. And so I'll get to that, but my topic or my thought on that is, are you working with what you currently have in order to be able to get more, right? You have to clean up the stuff that you have, and in order to be able to move on from there, right? We all have to kind of figure out where we're at now, and then where we're going and how we're going to get there. So really the two areas that I wanted to kind of focus on tonight was you yourself. Like, what is your why? Why are you doing this? Why are you dialing in on these calls every Sunday night? You know, what brought you into Mary Kay? Sometimes I think that we get so easily distracted and caught up in things, whether it's business related, work related, family life, that we forget to really pause and think about that stuff and what's important to us. You know, at the end of the day, why we're doing this. If it's, you know, you have a goal of being in a red jacket, okay, that's fabulous. Go ahead and go get it. But there's going to be days where you're not really totally feeling it. So why is it that you're doing that, right? You want to be, you yourself, need to be, and it's obviously you're gonna want to be intentional about the business that you're conducting. So knowing why you're doing it in the first place is huge. And I don't mean go and get, you know, lost in your why. No, not at all. I mean, just, it's like, okay, this is the goal. Why do I want to do it? This is why I want to do it. Okay, I'm going to go and do it. And really just going for it. And I live in rural, I'm considered northern Manitoba, but really I'm central. But I live in rural Manitoba, and I'm, you know, there's the closest director to me would be Angela Hargraves in Brandon. And so she's about 4 hours away. And lots of times it's easy to, you know, you think that you're, like Mary Kay always said, we're in this business for ourselves, but never by ourselves. So sometimes you can feel like the only lonely person in your area, you know, but you're never alone. And that's where, whether you, no matter what it is, you are in this business for yourself, you know, for your own reasons, but you're not by yourself. And so whether that is that you have other people that you connect with, or whether it's your clients that really just bring you joy and fill your cup, and servicing them and being their consultant, their go-to girl when they need a darker or a lighter shade of foundation, or when they, you know, their skin changes and they need, you know, they need an extra night cream, or whatever their problem is, or their daughter starts wearing makeup and she is, you know, needs some help with finding the right products that work for her. So you are never, ever alone in this business, and you have so much that you yourself can give whether that is, you know, through the products or through sharing the business with them, that I think sometimes I feel like we don't take the time to really just realize that we have this gift within ourselves, within what it is that we do, that, you know, that we can share that with people. And that really is huge. And so sometimes we just need to decide that that is what we're going to do. We're making it our mission. And I think back to every time that I've had a turning point in my business. And that really is what it boiled down to, was I made a decision within myself that I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of my bathroom being a mess and my makeup brushes needing to be clean, because the ones I use all the time are clean. But there was one that I was like, oh, I don't even know when I used that eyeshadow last, and it was just sitting in there because I never used that brush. Anyway, it's clean, done. So decide that you are not going to let another day, another week, another month go by wasted, and not reaching for your true potential within yourself to find the people that you can conduct business with, and being intentional about that, because you know how the products have benefited you. You know how this business has benefited you in your life thus far. And if you're still kind of, you know, whatever, I know for me, when I was still struggling a little bit, I always talked about my director, or, you know, so-and-so and so-and-so. I would share their stories and their product reviews or their whatever. Because for a while at the beginning, I had a hard time, you know, talking about myself. So it was easy. You could talk about other people, be like, oh yeah, she said this is great. And, you know, whatever. We all know somebody, right, that has done something big and something excited. So if you feel like you're not quite there yet, get excited about someone else's success and decide to, you know, hitch onto that star and let them be the reason, the thing that pulls you up, so that you can then turn around and take people with you, whether it's your clients that are loving their products, or they decide to join your team and want to, you know, walk this journey with you. So really just deciding that, you know, there's not going to be another day, another minute, another nothing that goes by before you are going to experience this success and reach your goals and get the hat, or get, you know, be a star this quarter, whatever it is, be a red jacket this quarter, all of those things. Because, you know, we all know that every time you level up, your pay increases, your confidence increases, all of those things. And we know that when we're thinking about ourselves, but sometimes we forget what it does for other people when we level up. It, you know, you give permission to other women to be successful by reaching up and leveling up yourself. So, you know, and that's another thing that I think that we get so focused on, being so set on how things have to come, right? How it's going to happen. It's going to happen this way. I'm going to do this, that, you know, we forget that there's no straight line to success. You're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have $1,000 week. You're going to have a $200 week. You're going to have a $1,500 week. You're going to have a $400 week. You want to obviously be consistent. We know that, but it happens. It's all part of the journey. It's part of the process. And sometimes we get so in our mind and in our head and in our thoughts about this is success and this is how it has to come, that we get so rigid, and we block all of those blessings, all of that extra stuff that the universe, you know, all of that it's like the miracles that come, we block that out because we're so set on this is how it has to be. And when you are open to those things, you're welcoming them in, and people will start to surprise you, and they will pop in, and you'll get a website order from somebody out of the blue. I just had one last week, and it was like, here's this girl that, you know, I tried to connect with her in the past and totally brushed me off, but something that I shared about those eyeshadow collections, all of a sudden, boom, there's an interest. And, you know, she messaged me on middle of the week saying that she wanted to order, but she had to wait till payday. And then this afternoon, e-transfer came in, orders, direct shipment is placed, and it's ready to go. You know, it's all in place. And so had I shut her out and been like, oh, you know, Brianne, she wasn't interested in Mary Kay, that wouldn't have come back to me because she doesn't live close to me. There's probably other Mary Kay people that she could find that are closer to her, but she came back. That's exciting, right? So, and and I think that's where, you know, when you are doing the work, when you are walking the walk, you're talking the talk, you're using the products, you're sharing it, you're, you know, supporting the programs, the PCP program, the, you know, new products, you're getting the new products in, you're sharing them, you're handing out samples, you're doing all of those things, you're putting it out there, and you're really allowing, you know, that, everything that has to fall into place, you're allowing it to happen. And then you just have to do the follow-up. And however that is, sometimes people they need that reminder. And sometimes people are just like, they pop up out of nowhere and they're the ones that are, you know, going to your website and placing orders and they surprise you. So but what it boils down to is you deciding and you being mindful of it and you really knowing why you're doing this, you know, all of those things that we already know, but we can sometimes get lost in. So the other thing, the number one area that I wanted to talk about was you getting yourself straight, figuring out what it is that you're doing and deciding. And don't get lost in that. It's so easy to be like, oh, I just don't know. And then time goes by. That's why I said, decide that not another day, another week, another, you know, month, quarter, whatever is going to go by. You are making this happen. And whatever your next step is, decide and go for it. Don't look left. Don't look right. Just make it happen. So the other area is your people. And that can be, you know, your prospect list of clients for appointments to sell to. And that can be prospect list of people that are prospective team members. So as I was saying with that whole cleaning up my makeup brushes and all that, it's like we have this stuff. We all have a bag of names. We all have names that have been sitting there. Okay, girlfriend, clean them up. Go through them. Is she in? Is she out? Is she on your list? Is she off your list? Has she ordered from you? Have you phoned her? Have you reached out to her? Pick up the phone, pick up your phone, whatever it is that you're going to communicate with her. Make the attempt, give her 3 chances this week. You're going to try and connect with her. If she answers, great. Get a yes or no answer from her. Of course, you're going to you're loving her while you're doing this. And you want to know, is she, you know, does she love the products? Is she still using them? Is there any samples? There's some new holiday products coming out. You know, is there anything that we can do? You guys know how to do all that. And get them on or off the list. If they're off the list, are they off the list right now? Is it just bad timing? You know, whatever is going on in their life right now, not a problem. You can phone them back in, you know, 1 to 3 months, whatever it is, or in the spring, or, you know, for years I would talk to people and it was like, oh yeah, you're in the hockey season. Don't worry. I'll call you in April when hockey's done. Do you know how many times I did that with people? And you phone them in the spring and they're like, holy crap, like there you are. Yeah, here I am. And you're a real person and you connected with them. You might have wrote down that they had hockey or they had heart surgery or they had this, whatever it was. And you phoned them back when you said you were going to, and they appreciate that. And that's also what gets into, you are a real person and you care and you are connecting. And that's what ranks you over someone else that's just, you know, an automated service or you know, whatever, that's just phoning for the sale, because you made a connection with them. All you got to do is flip to your calendar or whatever, put her in a file folder, whatever you have for a system, and say, call her on X date. This is what she said, whatever her reasoning was for not being able to, you know, proceed with business right now. So on or off the list, follow up with them down the road. So for those women that are hockey moms right now or are whatever, and they're overwhelmed with life right now and they cannot book an appointment, try the product, do the business, whatever it is, love them anyway. If they're no, never, bye. If they are no, not right now, put them accordingly to wherever they're going to go. And find someone else. Find someone else. I cannot, like, you guys, how often do we get hung up on this person? Oh, I love her. I this, I that. She'd be so great. Well, next week. Well, then next week turns into the week after. Then it turns into next month. And then what? You've put your business on hold for this 1, 2, or 3 people that you were waiting for. And guess what? It's your business at the end of the day that's paying for it, and your heart, and your, all the things that you tell yourself every day when you think about what you're grateful for. Well, I'm grateful for this, but this really hurt my feelings or whatever. Okay, hun, look after yourself. Move her to next week. It's nothing personal. It's nothing against her. Or move her to next month, or find some other way, right? If she is still if she's still on the fence or is undecided, send her some samples. Send her a gift certificate. Get her to book a party, something, because we all know that it comes from the excitement and the enthusiasm. So when they are excited about new products, when they are excited about how great their skin felt after they used that sample that you sent them, that's what gets them in, in all of us, really, where we're in that mindset and in that, everything just seems to flow better, and we're more open to try new things, whether it's the product, the business, whatever it is. So it works the same for them as it does for us. But we just need to remember that if you want to really move forward and not have any excuses, because we can all, like I said, back when I moved, I could have totally played that one and said, okay, well, I just moved again, moved 5 hours from where I lived before, and I don't know anybody besides one person here. I totally could have just left that and, been, I don't know, not a director anymore, whatever. I don't know what would have became in my life. Think about it. I don't want to think about it, because Mary Kay has done so much for me. So, and that's the other thing, that no matter what, for any of the times that I moved, or I was, starting to work in a new area, like when I moved back to Swan River, and I was starting to work in the Paw, I was starting to work in Yorkton, and I started working in Winnipeg, and, picking my places that I wanted to develop, it all boiled down to whoever I was talking to. And this came from Marcia. Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? You ask all of those people. If they're not interested, if they're too busy, if they cannot help you out, who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? Like that totally, I get it. I totally get it. That gets tiring. You're like, oh, I feel like I'm asking everybody, who do they know? But then all of a sudden you get one person that says, oh, I have a niece that lives in the Paw. And then she books a party, and you meet a couple friends, and her friend books a party from that party. And that party is $1,000 class that I did a few years ago. That's where it comes from, because you have decided that you're doing this and you're not taking no for an answer. It might be, she might say no, but there's someone else out there that's going to say yes. And there's someone else out there that's going to say yes. And that's where you're not, it's like the nose, right? They don't smack you in the forehead anymore. They just go over the windshield. They don't matter. They're just gone. You don't even think about them, because you are so just like, I am doing this. I am helping women. I am, whatever it is that you are doing, you're giving them confidence. You're all of the good stuff. That's what you are doing. And yes, there's going to be some bad stuff and some no's and some, whatever, product returns, some miserable people. That's life. We don't dwell on it. We all have a difficult customer here and there. But if we let that stop us, can you imagine if any of the nationals or Mary Kay herself would have let the no's, all those negative people, all the challenging people, can you imagine if she would have said like, oh, I'm tired from looking after kids and stuff, and maybe retirement is what is meant for me, and she didn't continue with this company? Can you imagine? We all wouldn't be here. Like, it's so easy to fall into that of, I'm tired, I'm this, I'm that, she said no, and the best analogy that I think, and I actually told my husband this a couple of days ago, he's just stressed out right now with work, and It was at a retreat in Alberta, and somebody, I don't even have a Q-tip handy. One of the directors there she passed out Q-tips, and it's like, okay, what's this for? And the analogy was, quit taking it personally. So when you think about it, put a Q-tip in your wallet, put a Q-tip in your, on your desk, by your bedside, whatever. Start carrying a Q-tip around. And it's like, quit taking this stuff personally. She didn't say no to, whatever. If it's team building, maybe it's just not right now. Do you know how many nationals there are that said, how many times they said no? How many meetings did they go to before they finally were like, you know what, actually, I'm going to do this. And then, here they are. So that's where we have to stop taking it personally, because if you're feeling stuck, chances are you've taken some stuff personally. You've, gathered some clutter, and you're starting to feel like you're just spinning the tire, and you need to decide, get them on or off your list. If they're on it, okay, let's roll with it. If they're off, okay, I'm going to follow up with them, in XYZ month, whatever it is. And who do they know that might be interested? And you might get 10 people that say they don't know of anybody, but then you might get 1 or 2 that refer somebody that's your next superstar, or your next, TimeWise Repair customer. You don't know that. So that's where you just have to be open to it, and intentional about it, and know that you are worth it. You are valued. You have so much to give to people. Because I just think of myself, everything that Mary Kay has done for my family, and while COVID has been a thing, if I worked another job, if I, wasn't, even right now with homeschooling our children, all of that, if I didn't have Mary Kay, I don't want to think about that. It would not be good. And here I am sitting, waiting, a car's on its way, it'll be in November. So that's the stuff that, there's so much stuff in the world that we need to just over the windshield and, just keep going, because there's so much goodness out there. We just need to keep working for it, and, going through the cycle of the emotions, and, whatever, and just keep going. So, I think I could talk forever about this stuff. You guys, if you know me, you know that. So, do you have questions? Let me know what you think. We can open it up for some questions now and see, or thoughts, anything. Anybody?
I have a question.
Hi.
Ashley, how far back, how old are your names that you would contact? Is there a time limit? If they're 2 years old, do you still contact them?
That's a good question. I used to think about that. And then I saw, Pat Paul in Winnipeg. Yes, we all know Pat Paul. She's amazing. I saw her with a folder and a stack of Welcome Wagon names. She did not put any time on it. She did not worry about if it was from 2 years ago. If they picked up and they, if that person is going to book an appointment with you, I think we overthink it. We think that they're going to think that all the stuff that's gone on in my life, it's they don't know any of that. So if they're unsure on if they actually ask you, then you can say, oh, this was from a while ago, how, whatever. You can totally say whatever you want to say. You don't have to get into details. But no, a name is a name is a name. I believe that you can follow up with them. And that's, for example, right now, Welcome Wagon is, due to COVID, they're no longer a thing. I still have a pile of Welcome Wagon names. So I'm not at the point yet where I'm following up with them, but you're darn right I'm going to still. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Anybody else? Do we have many people on? I didn't look.
We got 3 consultants right now.
Okay.
Yeah, that was great.
Well, I hope it was helpful.
Oh, it's always helpful. Always helpful. And I know that. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that I just, you know, today when I was cleaning and it was like, how many of us are sitting on, is there directors, is there car drivers, is there nationals in your names, in your stack of names? And I have, it's sitting under a wad of sales slips, but I did not long ago go through all of my customer profiles that I, you know, have facialed in the past and flip through them. And it's like, you know, some of them are, you remember the face, some of them you don't. And I just did a quick sort of the people that I could remember who they were that stood out to me at my classes. And those are the ones that I was going to kind of have as, you know, more of a priority. But as time goes by, you can still reach out and follow up with, and some of them, their numbers have changed. It's, you know, whatever, you can toss that one out, but it's still valid. And you never know where they're at in their journey. Maybe they just had a baby and they're looking for something like this. Maybe they just lost their job. Maybe they're at home with their kids because their kids have sniffly noses and they're not allowed in school. You know, whatever the reason is, that's, and I guess maybe that better answers your question, Tiffany, is that sometimes we're thinking the other thing and they're not thinking it at all, right? You never know where they're at in their life right now when you're contacting them versus where they were 5 years ago, you know, if you facialed them then or whatever. And people will come out of the woodworks. We know that when, you know, life has changed, or when all of a sudden there'll be a Mary Kay product and it's like somebody that I actually, this happened to me last year. I got this website order and I'm like, who is this person? And so I phoned her and she just was like, talking to me. And I'm like, so I actually, thanks Facebook. I looked her up on Facebook and I'm like, well, that's who that was. Like, you know, that happens. So that's where we never know what their journey is and what their path is. And it really just deepens that connection that you might change their life by following up with them. You never know. And you might not. There's going to be the people that are like, nothing's changed. Okay, see ya, carry on. Like, you know, but you have that gift to be able to connect with them. So I had another thought, it's gone. But anyway, sorry, Carol, what were you going to say?
I just think you hit it on the nose about people are so busy right now, and I think they're so caught up in so many things that when you guys call them, you're going to be like a breath of sunshine to them.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to care how long ago it was, right? That's not even going to pop into their mind because so many other things are taking priorities right now, right? So if you can drop a little spa package in the mail and ask to do a little virtual one-on-one with them, I think they'd be totally grateful.
Absolutely. And that just made me remember. Oh my gosh. Now that I'm gonna think about it. Oh, I was talking with another director and and really a couple people in this last week, and it's like we don't, and maybe it's just I've gotten away from picking up the phone and phoning people, right? My kids are 7 and 11 now. So I used to, you were mom, the kids are playing, you're talking on the phone, you're doing laundry, you're doing all the things. And I'm really effective when I talk on the phone, or efficient. I clean the fridge, I get my laundry done. Like I'm a very good phone talker. I'm very productive. And so I had a phone conversation last week and I was thinking about it. It's like, how many other people don't talk on the phone anymore? They're so consumed by texting and emails that they get like it's the face-to-face, it's that hearing someone's voice, it's that stuff that it really can impact people because they're, you know, and even that when we're going out in public, how many people are wearing masks nowadays? And you don't, you know, you can't, it's not personal. you don't have that. So whereas a simple phone call, even if your heart's pounding out and you got to hit end and then dial the number again because you're like, oh, I don't want to make this phone call, just do it and get through, 3 phone calls, 5 phone calls, and then do it again tomorrow, and just be consistent in it. Because for the one person that you can hear that change in their tone, and like Carol said, you're the ray of sunshine, you're the sparkle, you're that for them, that makes it worth it, right? Through all of that discomfort that we experience, or that little stuff in the back of our head.
Totally. Awesome. Anyone else have any questions? Okay. Well, guys, have a powerful month end.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Well, thanks for everything tonight, Ash. Awesome job as always.
Thank you.
So great to see you. Take care, guys.